Since I'm into psychology and obsessed with Adventure Time, it is time to look into the mirror stage. Also, I have nothing better to do, honestly. Quick reminder to subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. Maybe you ask, what the f is a mirror stage? And no, it's not a stage filled with mirrors, you uncultured wonderful human being. It's a theory proposed by a French psychiatrist, Jacques Lacan. Too long didn't read, it's when you start realizing when you are a separate being than your surroundings. Usually when you're around 6 to 18 months old. Now what does that have to do with Princess Bubblegum? Remember when PB oozes down like a droplet into a pond of water? She says that she was formed out of the mother gum.
I was formed in the mother gum.
After she's born, she explores her surroundings and tries to comfort her brother Neddy with that popping sound that she makes. Those moments are when she recognizes herself as a separate entity than her surroundings, and I think it's a great representation of the mirror stage in cinema. Lacan proposes that human infants pass through a stage in which an external image of the body, like a reflection in the mirror, produces a psychic response that starts forming the mental representation of an I, meaning me or myself. A sense of self starts shaping when we are between 6 and 18 months old. We realize we are fractured from the unity that we once felt when we were not born yet, and shortly after we were born. Bonnie's story of coming into existence is a brilliant representation of Lacan's mirror stage theory. She comes out of a formless blob of bubblegum where she felt like a part of a whole, a harmony, a unity of mother gum that doesn't try to do science or control Candy Citizen or be perfect all the time. A full wholeness that just is. I'm not sure if bubblegum intentionally separated from the mother gum, but it seems like she accidentally dropped, and plop, she had a smooth landing into a tiny pool of water. That's when she started forming her personality as a separate subject. And it was pleasant for her, unlike her brother, the sweet weirdo Neddy, who unfortunately cracked his gummy spine into pieces when falling onto the spiky rock and now is scared of everything. Life started out painful for him. That's why she says that people get built different. Because Neddy's personality started shaping from an unfortunate and painful event. Lacan talks about how the unified image that we see in the mirror never fully satisfies us because it's an ideal image. It's in our heads, an imaginary self that we perceive from the outside through the mirror, our friends, our family, our colleagues, and who we are in certain environments. We need the external other to have an identity. As Bonnabelle goes on with her life, she starts feeling lonely. Having only her brother as company, who does nothing but suck on tree roots all day. She creates a family in her own image. Why? Because she wants to actualize her ideal self where she felt whole. She wants to validate her existence by an other on the outside. Lacan argues that chasing the feeling of unity is what we do our whole lives, and that it shapes who we are, our decisions and personality, as well as our neurosis and psychic disturbances. It is an imaginary sense of self that a person is trying to uphold through various types of behavior. But here's the twist. Lacan argues that this sense of wholeness is impossible to achieve. It's an illusion, an ideal, an archetype. PB built a whole kingdom of subservient dummies who she feels connected to. In order to keep feeling connected to them, she feels the need to work for them day and night without having a private life. She overextends herself with the workload she takes and her devotion to science. She even does morally questionable things just for the sake of keeping the Candy Kingdom going. She's doing that to uphold her image of herself as the princess of the Candy Kingdom, to feel like she's a part of the mother gum again. She says it herself. I was formed in the mother gum. My mind and gum were in touch with dozens of others, like a crowded womb. I guess I missed that. She misses the unity, the oneness, the comfort of not being a fractured being trying to hold it together with chamomile tea and a science obsession. She wants to fill the empty cracks of her fractured self to feel whole again. And don't we all? We all have our psychic disturbances and neuroses. Whether you're a Neddy, an anxious, wet hot dog, or a Bonnie, an over-functioning perfectionist with God complex tendencies. We're all just trying to glue our cracked mirrors back together through love, friendships, careers, geeky obsessions, therapy memes, or YouTube videos about cartoons and psychoanalysis. So yeah, Lacan says that our sense of self starts shaping from the mirror stage. We're all chasing a version of ourselves that only exists in our heads. And Bonnabelle? She just happens to do it in a lab coat and a crown.